the holistic education ecosystem. We are currently experiencing a transformative period in the education in Bangladesh as per the directions of the Ministry of Education. Sorry. Guided by the direction, we have revised our national curriculum to better equip our future citizens with the necessary skills and competencies. To implement this new curriculum effectively, we have collaborated closely with the Ministry of Education. A notable outcome of this collaboration is the development and implementation of the Naipunno initiative. Moving forward, we are planning to integrate artificial intelligence into this national assessment system to enhance its effectiveness and efficiency. I look forward sorry. I look forward to hearing from our local and international experts on ways Bangladesh can strengthen its use of AI in assessment and learning analytics for our diverse student population. We extend our gratitude to UNESCO for spotlighting the importance of ethical AI that aligns with our goals. Your support in this endeavors is invaluable, and we are eager to contribute to UNESCO's mission in this area. We are looking ahead to working together to revolutionize the integration of AI in Bangladesh education sector. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, distinguished guest participants. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your warm opening remarks, and also HY is spearheading the effort in ICT education and also AI in education in Bangladesh. We, as UNESCO, we look forward to working with HY closely for this webinar series and also for other efforts in AI in education. Thank you. Now I will give the floor to Ms. Susan Weiss, UNESCO Head of Office and the UNESCO representative to Bangladesh. Over to you.
Your Excellency, Mr. Mohibul Hassan Chowdhury, Minister for Education, Mr. Mamunur Rashid Boyan, esteemed guests and speakers, thanks to everybody for being here today, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to everybody participating in this first of a series of webinars on smart education and AI in Bangladesh. Particularly pleased that this is a collaboration with A2I, and it's a great way to start off this work, getting deeper into AI and education. Artificial intelligence, as you all know, has demonstrated its potential to revolutionize society. It's already become indispensable across many sectors. We don't even realize how often we're using it. It's so intrinsic in everything we have in daily life. And it offers vast opportunities to enhance productivity, but it also has a lot of risks associated with that. Bangladesh is actually quite advanced compared to many other countries, particularly doing a lot of work on AI policy, developing platforms and systems. Smart Bangladesh has really moved the country forward quite considerably. So in the education sector, where we're going to focus today, AI is still building up, and we're going to examine a series of different topics around AI and education through this webinar series. So AI is expected to improve teaching and learning outcomes. Through individual-based assessment and learning analytics, we can really be able to tailor educational needs of individual students using the AI to actually spotlight what everybody needs. Learning platforms and tools powered by AI will then be able to be used by the educators and the learners to actually be able to address their specific learning needs, and that will facilitate more efficient tracking of progress and performance. AI has the potential to revolutionize the management and presentation of educational content, empower educators to deliver more engaging and personalized learning experiences. Generative AI has emerged as a valuable resource for educators and learners, both formally and informally, thereby enriching teaching and learning activities. Amidst these promising advancements, it's imperative to acknowledge the associated risks. This has been highlighted by UNESCO's Assistant Director General for Education, Ms. Stefania Giannini. The use of AI in education remains unregulated. This is one of the risks. This means AI has been able to grow in the education sector, which has all those benefits, but at the same time as it's growing, because it's unregulated, means that we don't actually know what the good and the bad parts are. We don't know how much risk is associated with that. Fewer than 10% of educational institutions currently have formal policies or guidelines in place. The unregulated deployment of AI has the potential to undermine the role of educators and divert resources, if it hasn't been done well, from the critical educational needs. So this is an important part when we're looking at the benefits to also be looking at the risks as well. A recent report from UNESCO underscored the potential for bias inherent in AI technologies, particularly in large language models. And these biases, if left unchecked, have the potential to intensify gender and cultural stereotypes within educational contexts. So, of course, with countries such as Bangladesh, if we're using tools developed in other countries, we will automatically be inheriting some of these biases. The significance of this webinar series lies in its dual objective of harnessing the transformative potential of AI in education while proactively addressing these associated risks. It's crucial for our discussion to uphold ethical standards in the use of AI and to follow guidance on generative AI in research and study. The webinar series co-organised by UNESCO and A2I will explore 5 thematic areas, all related to AI in education. In this session, we're going to be focusing on using AI-powered platforms or applications in assessment and learning analytics, and the future sessions will elaborate on skills development and forecasting, implications in technical and vocational education and training, AI-powered learning management systems and content management systems, and ethical use of AI in research and study. And in particular, one area, preparing teachers and students for AI in education. All of these topics are relevant to preparing everybody in the education sector to be able to transition to a new type of education in which AI will be integrated into many aspects. So hopefully it will be a great opportunity for discussion and mutual learning, and I hope it will leverage the landscape of smart education in Bangladesh. Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all participants and express my sincere thanks to everybody who, in advance, for the fruitful exchange that I know is going to happen through this dialogue. And I thank the team members from A2I and UNESCO who've been dedicated to make this happen. It's been quite an intensive month getting ready. Together, let us chart a course towards a future where AI serves as a catalyst for equitable and inclusive education for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sue. Thank you also for sharing the themes of the coming webinar sessions. I saw some questions coming up from the Q&A. They are asking about how Bangladesh is working on AI in education and how we are planning to do in the future. I believe these questions will be answered through the presentations and also the following panel discussions. And when you raise your questions, please, if you wish to ask a specific question to somebody, do mention the speaker's name. This will make the life easier, for them to answer the questions. Of course, for some overall and general questions, all the speakers and also moderators are invited to answer the questions. Minister, I don't know if you are ready to give your presentation or speech, or you want to wait for the keynote presentations to take place first. As you wish,
yes,
we can.
I think I can start at this stage now.
Okay. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you, and first of all, I'd like to thank UNESCO for inviting me at this discussion, at this webinar from the UNESCO office in Dhaka. And I also would like to thank the organizers for holding this very timely webinar on the artificial intelligence and its use in assessment and up and coming topic in what we call education technology, EdTech. So I'm sure the participants in this webinar will show us many different options and the technology that is now being utilized for harnessing the power of AI in assessment and learning. In Bangladesh, in our education family, as our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is transforming the education ecosystem into what we are calling a smart education ecosystem. We are bringing in the power of AI and data-driven policy making in all sectors and layers of education, starting with our basic ICT education in school level. We have introduced compulsory ICT education since our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has taken the Prime Ministerial tenure in 2008. And we are already getting some benefit out of that compulsory introduction of ICT education. Bangladesh now has added ICT-driven service in its export basket. ICT is one of the biggest earning source for Bangladesh now, and it is due to that courageous and brave decision by Honorable Prime Minister to transform the country into a digital Bangladesh, which began in 2009. From digital to smart, it has been quite a journey. Processes within government, including within the education decision making. Now we have the opportunity to collect data, process data, which will then feed into artificial intelligence. So we are undergoing lots of digitization projects at the moment, starting from education management system, digitization at the education boards, which are entrusted to take public exams, to holding online classes by public and private universities, to correcting large-scale public examination answer sheets using machine learning and using digital processes. So that is already there. However, we feel that with the digitization process growing, we need to have certain policies in place to capture data, process data, and hopefully use the power of artificial intelligence in assisting policymakers to take decisions. So one example of this process would be the latest assessment platform called Noipunno, which is a new introduction into our education sector, which is basically a database of all the students' continuous assessment results across the country. Now that we will have a repository of a huge number of students, I mean almost each and every student in the secondary level will have their classroom assessment data stored in a large database called Noipunno, from where their assessment gradings will be generated. Now this will allow us to see which area of the country, which district of the country, which school of the country is lagging behind in key competencies, literacy to numeracy. And we will also be able to see which teachers have capacity shortage and which students have competency shortage or learning gap. So in order to reduce the learning gap, we will be able to make precise policy decisions or target a particular district or target particular number of schools and focus on improving learning gap achievement in these schools. So Noipunno app will revolutionize our assessment process. Obviously, there are downsides to it. I mean, we cannot make the decision makers, which are of course the teachers, alienated from this process. So teachers are key into feeding this information into the system. However, and teachers' assessments are also important. Now, we need to, of course, balance it with teachers' assessment and our learning, and whether the teachers' assessments are properly recorded, or even integrity challenges are properly met, because we know integrity can be a major issue in assessment by classroom teachers across the country. There are, of course, challenges of decentralized. This is a decentralized process of assessment in classroom level, so we need to balance, of course, between the teacher's assessment, between the data generated results, and between what actually the real life scenario of the students are. So we are, of course, going to use the AI to maybe perhaps process the large data that we will generate, but we will also be using a human component in this process, because as we know, education cannot just be left alone for robots to decide. There are human components to it as well. So whilst the AI will be assisting us, we are not, of course, going to detach the human component from this decision making at all, because there are political, social, and cultural implications of educational processes which need to take into account of the fact that certain things are happening which may not be captured by AI alone. So AI will be utilized in the right way. Teachers will be trained to use the AI-driven processes and generated results. Policymakers will be assisted. However, we want to ensure that human component is always prioritized. Teachers' decision-making is always taken into cognizance. And the students are not just merely becoming data in the AI platform, but they are real human beings with feelings, values, thought processes, and of course, they are our future valuable assets for our nation building. So we know that there is limitation as to how much AI can be used for data-driven decision-making in education, but we need to balance it with the other considerations that I have mentioned here. So we look forward to the inputs that participants in this webinar will share with us, and I will request the organizers to share the findings with us, and we look forward to work with UNESCO and UNESCO Dhaka office in Bangladesh in our future decision making in education. I would like to thank A2I also for input in this webinar and their assistance in holding this webinar. This is it from me. Thank you very much. May Bangladesh UNESCO friendship live forever. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We know how busy you are, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join this webinar. I can understand this topic probably is also a topic close to your heart. And thank you for sharing the vision and the thoughts on smart education ecosystem for smart Bangladesh, and also sharing the journey of Bangladesh transiting from digital Bangladesh to smart Bangladesh. We also understand from your remarks, like we need to capture capture the data through the assessment system to better understand the students' learning needs and the gaps, and to inform teaching, learning and assessment. And another point you made is also, relevant to today's webinar, because I saw a lot of teachers are registered to this webinar. We can see they also play an important role during the implementation of the AI-powered assessment system. And as you said, we need to adopt a human-centered approach, using AI, using machine to boost the teacher's capacity, and also to elevate the teacher's workload in administrative and also other workload, to make sure they can focus on teacher learning and also assessment. Now I think I will pass the floor to Professor Mikko Jussi-Laakso. Professor Mikko Jussi-Laakso is the director of the Turku Research Institute for Learning Analytics at the University of Turku from Finland. His main research ranges are learning analytics, gamification, and also large-scale assessment and AI in education. Professor and his team won the UNESCO ICT Education Prize in 2020 with its project called Villa, a teaching and learning platform which uses AI tools to recommend personalized exercises to address learning needs and gaps based on students' performance. I will give the floor to you, and we hope you can present your key points within 15 minutes. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much for your kind words. So, dear Excellencies and distinguished participants, my name is Mikko, and I'm Professor and Director for the Turku Research Institute for Learning Analytics, so from Finland, and I'm honored to be here, and I would like to thank UNESCO for inviting me, and today I will share you our success story, how we have been promoting digital transformation in education on large scale, and how we have turned data into knowledge with learning analytics and AI. So now I will start. Can you give me access that I can share my presentation? So you need to promote me to be a presenter so I can share my slides as well.
Jerry?
Yes, you can share now, Professor.
Okay, so let's get started. So, my name is Mikko, here is my long name as well, but I think for the next 15 minutes this will be one of the best this kind of ideas that how you can actually change your education system at large scale. But anyway, a little bit background knowledge. So currently I work with many researchers from many different fields, from computer science, education and psychology. And we are actually just received this kind of 8-year funding, I mean this kind of longitudinal funding to develop assessments, interventions, scalable things with top national and international researchers. So from the backbone is that we are developing Ville, the #1 learning environment in Finland, which is used in more than 70% of the schools, and we really do have strong international research network and collaboration going on. So, to give you a little bit more about background, so what is Ville? So we have created novel solutions that include research-inspired pedagogy and improved learning outcomes for children which are based on extensive research. And our approach includes 20+ years of Finnish education excellence in many subjects. From practical point of view, Ville is a software as a service, and it's developed as public good in Finland, utilizing interactive content with gamification and AI. And of course, the overseas equivalent is called Eduten, which is utilized in over 50 countries. But the big picture, I mean, trying to find research-based answers to these questions have guided our work. First of all, we need to be able to collect trustable data from learners' everyday life, for example, once in a week. Secondly, we need to be able to turn the data into knowledge with learning analytics and AI. Through this, we can automatically identify and overcome learning losses and difficulties, and thus we are capable of evaluating the impact of educational changes at the system level. But the crucial question is how to do this without overloading the system. And the teachers are key points in this. So how to do all of this without overloading the system. So this what we have managed to do in Finland. So how we have received this exponential curve. So of course, like you can see that this kind of disruptions like pandemic, so we were doing this kind of transformation and we were empowering our teachers with scalable digital tools well before the pandemic. And currently, if we look at this kind of global effect in that sense that we are in the middle of the global challenge of a learning recovery. And of course, we are building research-based tools to find answers to this global challenge at large scale. But how to create this kind of system-level transformation? First of all, of course, like the minister said that the teachers are in the core of the everyday life what is happening in the school. So for us, the teachers have been in our core from the day one. And together with them, we have co-designed and co-developed practical and field-tested solutions. The solutions are aligned with any curriculum, support teachers' existing workflows, and save time for them. From Teachers to Teachers initiatives is currently one of the biggest game changers in Finnish education system. So next I will describe one of our success stories. Let's take this kind of that we do many subjects with this kind of interactive gamified exercises and I will give you a walkthrough in mathematics. So we have developed with the teachers ready-made lessons which are aligned, as I said, aligned with the curriculum. And each lesson only once in a week. One weekly lesson, not more. One digital weekly lesson. It's exactly what the teachers are supposed to teach. It supports the curriculum, it saves time for them, and what it makes possible by utilization of learning analytics and AI, it makes that in the classroom settings, you can actually do personalization and differentiation. It is made easy for the teacher. But what is the most important thing? Now we can collect trustable data from learners' everyday life and then turn the data into knowledge and help them with more personalized learning. And of course everything started with this, with the research outcomes. For example, these kind of effects of weekly interactive math lessons have been studied not only in Finland, like countries like Malaysia, UAE, Lithuania, Belgium, India, Mongolia, and so on. So these kind of solutions, it saves time for the teachers, it improves the learning outcomes, and for me, as a researcher, the most important point in this slide is the last point. The changes are permanent. From the practical point of view, it makes learning of math more enjoyable, reducing math anxiety. The outcomes are published in several publications and PhD. and then for the teachers and for the decision makers, what it means. I mean, if you use these weekly lessons for 2 school years, you are gaining several months of advancement through these interactive weekly lessons. And for example, the next things what we are now doing, we are investigating the effects, this effect in India with the street kids. And of course, in those kind of projects, the goal is to get those street kids back to the school. So, when we can collect trustable data from students or learners' everyday life, and when we have this kind of large-scale data, then we can utilize machine learning with AI, learning analytics with AI. For example, on the left side, we can automatically identify learning losses and gaps to the same level an pen and paper test would do, without grade. And this is automatically shown for the teacher. Or on the top left or top right corner, we can classify and identify through machine learning and AI methods those kind of needs for individual children or individual learners and create more personalized learning experience for them. And now you really need to remember how to do this whole without overloading the system. So in the bigger picture, I call this approach the nationwide teaching and learning ecosystem idea. And I think you have similar ideas going on in Bangladesh. So, we have 4 pillars in our nationwide ecosystem of teaching and learning. So, like I told, our story started with developing our mainstream education. In the early days, we focused on developing research-based solutions that help everyday life in the schools and classroom settings. We co-created learning paths with the teachers that are capable of providing more personalized learning inside classroom with improved learning outcomes. But this enables us to collect trustable data from learners' everyday life. In addition, when we link this data with constant evaluation of learning, we can identify the individual learning losses and needs of any learner with utilization of learning analytics and AI. Recently, we have been developing materials and tools for educational support in order to tackle this global learning recovery challenge. These include specific set of scalable tools to overcome individual learning losses and to enable individualized learning experience for every learner. And when we combine this kind of activities in large scales, then we have possibility to look at these phenomena at the system level. In long run, this offers us a possibility to evaluate the impact of different kind of interventions, whether they are economic investment on education or change in the pedagogical model. So I call this win-win-win ecosystem, and this is one thing I want you really to remember. Even the children and youth are gaining all the benefits. The key actors are teachers, education system actors / decision makers, and then researchers. We need to together to work hard to solve these kind of things. And what we have really done, and what is our mission, I want to help every learner in need as early as possible with the personalized and effective intervention, of course at large scale. And this is this can be done right now. So in summary, we really need to remember that still globally, 6 out of 10 children don't get good enough basic skills in reading and math during their compulsory school years. We are really still far away from reaching the United Nations SDG 4 of ensuring quality education for all. And of course, I'm honored to tell you that we received the UNESCO Global Award of the use of the ICT in education in 2020. And basically, we got that award, that how to use the data for the good purpose. And the UNICEF announcement described the level of the ambition. I really want to work with hundreds of millions of learners. And of course, what we have done, we have improved children's learning in a large scale. We have developed our unique win-win ecosystem. And if we really think about this kind of thing, we really need to ensure that we will use the data for the good purpose and transparent way. But we have already done this, and now we have shown that we can collect trustable data from learners' everyday life. Turn the data into knowledge utilizing learning analytics, machine learning, and AI. And for you, we started this process 20 years ago. But I still need to remember that it takes many years to change the education system. And maybe the best time was started 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. And I already loved what the minister and other speakers were sharing to us, that you are in the good path already. But really the final question is how I can help Bangladesh children and when we can start collaborating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Lakso. I think, I want to share with our colleagues, Professor Lakso's project Villa is also profiled as a case study in UNESCO's latest compendium of ICT education prize winners from 2006 to 2020. So if you have interest, I've shared the link in the chat, and you can refer to the publication to get more information about the project Villa. What strikes me most from the presentation of Professor Lakso, I think it's the role of research in the development of any, teaching and learning platforms or AI-powered learning platforms. We can see from their practice, research is inbuilt from the very beginning of the design stage. We tend to see for all the products, we need to go through some clearance like health products or other products, but education products actually just are the same. If we are promoting some AI algorithm in the platforms, whether this algorithm has been properly tested and researched, and I think this is also a question to all the practitioners in this field. And regarding Professor Lakso's question, I think the webinar, actually the purpose, how you can work with Bangladesh, actually the webinar is really the starting point. We introduce international experts and also national experts on the same platform, but later on we can have follow-up discussions and also follow-up collaborations on different occasions. And right now I would like to invite all the speakers and panelists to switch on your video, and we will have a group photo before we proceed with the national presentation. Thank you very much. Sue and also Mr. Mamuna and also Minister of Education. I don't know if you wish to switch on your camera. If not, I think we will take the group photo. In any case, your photos are already featured on the screen, so it's okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Jerry, it's okay, right? Okay, then we will proceed to the next presentation. It will be from Mr. Shafat Islam. He's the capacity development expert at the Future of Education team at A2I. He will give us a presentation on the progress and achievements Bangladesh has made on the AI-supported assessment platform. Over to you, Shafat. I hope you can finish your presentation in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Hua. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So just give me some second. I'm just sharing my screen. Thank you so much for the opportunity to show our achievement on AI-supported assessment platform. Our Honorable Minister already mentioned this platform, and we have already discussed something what will be getting from this platform. So I would like to thank UNESCO and A2I to arrange this timely webinar on this timely topic on AI. So I would like to thank all the distinguished guests here who are listening, and all the panelists who will be talked after this presentation. So Nipunno is our national assessment platform. This is designated to simplify and automate our evaluation system and to prepare automated report card for the students. So before going deep dive into the assessment platform, let's just discuss. We are working on a national artificial intelligence policy from Bangladesh. So if we just see what are the key principles of AI implementation, you can see that it should be guided by the principles of Bangladesh national values and vision and goals. So our Honorable Minister already guided that. Sorry. We should not only focus on the machine, not only focus on the artificial intelligence tools, but also on the people understanding and teachers' decision makings. So you can see the social equity, equality and fairness, transparency, accountability, safety, security and robustness, and finally human-centered AI. You can see these are the key principles of AI implementation. This will be the national artificial intelligence policy for by the government of Bangladesh. So we are already taking into account that our system will be using artificial intelligence, but that should follow the principles of our national goals, national values, and visions. Let's look for one of the case studies. We are also working with health sector. You can also run that. We have a project that is working with maternal health in Bangladesh. So recently a report was published. So what we have seen, the implementation of that project. So we have seen that AI has the potential to assist the community health workers through personalized guidance and efficiency tools. But the barriers are also very much important to understand, because we always work with the marginalized people. So the marginal people, digital access, their learning abilities, or the digital literacy gap, their social cultural restriction, and lots of infrastructure limitations is already there. So learning from this kind of project already happening in Bangladesh, we can understand the similar type of barrier would be faced by our teachers and also in the education sector. So what we are developing right now, we should have this kind of evidence. Like Professor Mikko said, he has like 25 years of working experience with data analytics. So we are just inferring into the AI-related policy tools, different platforms, but we need to really work on different limitations and barriers so that we can really use the potentials of AI in every sector of our country for the betterment of our people. So let's move on to the policy of assessment that our new national curriculum has framework has designed. So we can see that the assessment is just shift from
summative, totally summative to formative, and teachers are using this process of assessment. So they are taking performance record of the students of each of the learning experience. Then they are just putting all the records in the system, and the system actually generating a report card along with all the performance indicator, and the system is supporting a unitary reports card system across the country. So there is no discrimination at all of developing this kind of report card based on the teacher's capacity. So we'll discuss it more later. Let's move on to just basic understanding of our multidimensional experiential learning, how we are actually dealing with the assessment. So in each of the stage of the learning experience, teacher are taking notes and looking to the students' performance indicators. So the three-stage assessment is happening. First thing is like continuous, which is done during the learning experience, and second type of assessment is doing twice in a year. That is a summative part of the new continuous new formative assessment. So this summative is not like previous one. It is like also a experiential way of summative exam. Some part maybe in the paper pencil test, but most of things are like projects, and you can see in the learning methods: project based, problem based, investigative, collaborative, and communicative. So all this learning happened in the schools, but there is a summative part. And another thing that is included in this new assessment system, that is the behavioral assessment by all the subject teachers, which is not dependent on each subject. So one student is assessed by almost 10 teachers for his behavioral attitude and different criteria. So including all of these criteria, we designed this formative assessment system. So this system was like soft launched by our honorable Prime Minister in the last year, October, and then disseminated by our honorable education ministers and RCD ministers and our distinguished MPs. So you can find this system in different format, like the teacher has a mobile app and web version of the assessment, and for the management part, there is another platform that designed the school system, because we don't have the unitary school system. The schools have different levels of infrastructures, different learning delivery methods. So we provided management platform for the schools managers and independent platform for the subject teachers, so that they can use this platform for the subject assessment. So if we just understand current situation of this platform, at 2024, we are dealing with total four grades, that is grade 6, 7, 8, and 9. So currently we have 500,000 teachers registered in this platform, and almost 88 million students from 4 grades are already registered. Some schools are not yet included in this platform because of different legislative issues. Right now, we are dealing with 54 subjects from 4 grades. So each schools are assessing under 54 subjects. So basically, there are 5 modules who are just launched. We are planning to add more modules. First of all, teachers are inputting the performance indicators record for each of the students. And based on the record, we are providing report cards at the end of the year. There is a group assessment module this is developed, so we are going to launch it soon. There is an attendance system built in this platform, so this will be also the national attendance platform from this year. And we are working with the evidence that will be uploaded as an attachment for students learning, understanding, and their evidence will be stored in the platform, so that if anyone want to understand the learning progression or levels, so they can understand from this attachment along with the input from the teachers. So this system was primarily designed by the NCTB, and this platform is also like supported by ICA Division A2I program and our good partner UNICEF. So we have developed this platform with a very short time, but right now it will be distributed and managed by our education boards, who are the legal authorities of the national assessment of public examination. So we have a total 11 education board who are actually taking preparation to take the first ever public exam of this new curriculum at 2025. So we are preparing to make it a national platform for public examination also. So I'm going fast just to give a quick overview how different management is getting benefit from this platform. Our Honorable Minister already mentioned some of the areas, that is the data to decision making and also different understanding of the platform, because we'll have the national data of teachers, students, institutions, and in student levels. So the definitely ministry and directors will get this kind of data to have the policy decisions. Education board will have the centralized system. Schools will have the total management modules within their hands. Teacher will have very much efficient, will increase the efficiency of the teachers. Definitely the time and effort will be lessened, and the teacher bias will be checked, because we also want to understand if there is any gap of the teachers to assess this platform. So we can use AI related tools to understand teachers bias. And also from the student and parents point of view, they will get the achievement reports as well as AI-based career counseling, different kind of visual presentation of their performance, and what can they do with their loss of learning. So these kind of things will happen through this platform. And definitely at TUI we are supporting technological support to the development of this platform. So analyzing this big data and all kind of managing all kind of cyber securities, using AI for the future. So we are working on these areas to enhance this platform for the better use of the national assessment. So I'm just moving fast for this part. So we are already practicing and developing some of the tools which are based on the principles of using generative AI and predictive AI. So you'll get the ideas later. So just moving forward, how we are actually developing this platform from the national curriculum. We have seen that each of the subject has some competencies, and each of the competencies are distributed through and understood through some performance indicator. And for each of the performance indicator, there are different performance level for the students. When students show some of the performance, so teacher will understand, and then what happened, they actually track the competencies of the students. So we can see here that is there is a guideline for the teacher which activities to be observed for each of the indicators. Each of the performance indicators, there are some guidance for each of the subject. So the teacher can easily track and understand the students' activities, students' performance, and then they just put in onto the three level of geometric sign you are seeing, but each of the geometric sign has an explanation where student exactly stand for each of the performance indicator. So you can just see the overview of the platform. Here you can see only 4 steps. Teacher just join with the login, and they can see, you can there are some screen which are in Bangla. I'm sorry if, because they are we are not yet worked with the English version. So teacher can just select the subject, then there will be in the middle phase there will be a competency level. If a teacher select the competency, there will be showing one of the performance indicator, and after selecting one of the performance indicator, they will get the student list where they will put the assessment criteria, either rectangle, circle, or a triangle. So each of the sign has their own statement of the performance the student are going through. So after completing this list, the teacher can submit the performance indicator, and after completing all of the performance indicator, teacher can get the result sheet after a certain period. So another thing that is also important, I have said earlier, that is there is a behavior indicator. So a teacher, one subject teacher can assess the group of students based on his or her observation of the behavior. But all other teachers, like 10 subjects, are doing the same thing for this group of students. So we are also getting a very robust behavior indicator from a specific group of students for each class. So this is also helping to understand teacher student readiness, students performance through the system. So this is also a part of our assessment in the new curriculum. So this is the class teacher overview. They can see all subject performance of individual students, and they can download report from here, which is really needed to deliver to the students and parents. So these are the sample of the learning scales. So we have 7 scale of assessment, starting from at the highest level, that is the upgrading and achieving, advancing, activating, exploring, and the last level would be the elementary. So teacher will assess student on the PI, but the PI is the connection with the competency and the dimension of the subjects. So each of the subject has different dimension to understand the capacity of the student and understand the competence of the students on that subject, on that particular grades. So after completing all these performance indicators over the year and summative assessment, the student will get a report card, kind of this kind of report card, where the 7 scale assessment will be the final output for the students. This is one of the dashboard that is designed for our administrator. For example, at the sub-district and district level. So this is a sub-district level assessment where a school administrator or a Upazila education officer can see how many students are daily taking attendance in the school, or how many number of requests they are getting from the schools, what are the average number of performance are doing every day by each of the schools. The list is in the below, and from the national point of view, we can always see which district and which sub-districts are performing well and are falling behind. In the map, we have also developed this kind of monitoring system built in this platform. So we can also say this is also a national monitoring support system. Though we have a digital monitoring system, but this system will support, will support other system to improve the monitoring of the implementation of our curriculum, and also really check the teachers' performance, student performance, and the field administration performance for the betterment of our education. So I don't want to go detail on this part, but this is how we have designed the process. How we are managing the big data in different data warehouse, and how we are actually using AI platform to guide students as for their individual need. So personalized guidance, student all data will be in their own profile. There will be a digital locker for each of the students. So based on our national education policy guidance and our different policy guidance, the student will get this kind of support from the system. So in a nutshell, if we just see how different stream of data we're getting, already we have said that from the institution point of view, we are getting the robust data, though we didn't have a complete picture of the educational institution before, but right now we are getting very clear data set, including government, MPO, non-MPO, even though the new schools who are not yet registered in the government system. So we are getting all the school information. We're also getting, we're also getting teachers data, like regular and irregular contracts, the real-time location in the school, how much time they are spending in the schools, because we have used this mobile app also tracking their locations, and also the professional information, how they are dealing with this platform, how they are using this platform, what are the capacity. We can also understand from this platform. And finally, from the student point of view, we are getting all this data to support them to enhance their learning. So just a quick overview of the student progression. If you see from attendance point of view, we can really track the dropout tendency. If in different region in Bangladesh, we can understand there are tendency to not attend in the class, especially in the monsoon and in the different season in different locations. So if we can see a student tend to be absent in the school regularly, the attendance to be like dropped out is become higher. So if we have the proper information of the attendance of the students for the whole year and for the different years, we can always say which group of the students are more likely to be like dropped out from the system. So this will also support in different ways to understand national dropout ratio. And in the right side, you can see for different grades, we can always track student learning progression of subject, if they are getting well or not, if they are losing their performance for a certain subject. So the pattern will analyze, and definitely after getting this pattern,
yes.
this is also a
pattern. Sorry, Shafal, can you wrap up in half a minute?
Just one slide. So these are the area we are supporting based on the learning analytics. So we definitely detect the gaps. We will definitely support the student, and AI-powered warning will be used, and we also support the inclusivity point of view. We also support each of the students based on their special needs. So this is the last slide. You can see we are also already working with a generative chatbot where you can just ask question about the platform and different things. We have also plugged in ChatGPT. I've seen some of the questions from the participants. So we're trying to make it easier for the teacher, so that if they have any problem understanding this platform, using this platform, and also understanding the new curriculum, they can just ask here, and they will get the information. We are just starting this pilot. Definitely we'll also train this system more and support from the platform point of view. So thank you all. This system is supported by and designed and developed by our Ministry of Education, and technical support is given through A2I and UNICEF. I hope I could share my design and experience with you. So if any question, I'm open for that. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much, but I think you gave a very comprehensive introduction of the progress and achievements of Bangladesh's design in the AI-powered assessment system. I saw many questions in the chat, but we are 25 minutes behind the schedule, so I will skip the Q&A part, but I invite you and also Professor Lakso to answer questions in the Q&A. They have many questions, and one particular question I think it really needs to be addressed is like, the inclusion and equity issue, how we can make sure AI-powered learning assessment benefit those most disadvantaged students and teachers. So you may take the initiative and answer the questions in the chat. Now I will give the floor to Mr. Shakil Ahmed to moderate the panel discussion. And sorry about the delay. I think the webinar probably will be extended for 20 or 25 minutes. Over to you, Shakil.
Okay. Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are, when you are. I'm Shakil Ahmed, a futurist and educator and a storyteller from Ridiculous Futures, and a resident futurist and an e-learning specialist at A2I. And I'll be your moderator for today's discussion on the prospect of AI-powered formative assessments, challenges and opportunities across the global and local landscape. So in an ideal world, we know that students will be assessed based on what is taught. But the reality is that given traditional high-stakes summative assessments, is that students are taught based on how they might be assessed. Examinations which students can excel at just by memorizing encourage teachers to get students to just memorize. PISA data unfortunately shows us that students who use memorization as their primary strategy are usually some of the lowest achieving in the world. Traditional assessments obviously run the risk of one-size-fits-all testing and the inability to provide personalized feedback to learners in a timely manner. You may get a 60 or 80 out of 100, but what do those numbers really mean? What aspects of the subject am I good at? What are my areas of improvement? According to educator Joe Boiler, the idea that students will improve learning just by being tested is as wrong as thinking that we can make children grow faster just by measuring them. Now, instead of trying to reform what is being taught and how, much research has gone into reforms in assessment, hoping that a change in assessment will change classroom behavior. Instead of relying on summative assessments, which are largely assessments of learning, there's a push towards having more formative assessments, which are assessments being done as you learn, assessments for learning. Now, with the improvements in AI technologies, formative assessments may be done more effectively, allowing educators to evaluate in more innovative ways and to personalize feedback as well, enhancing learning outcomes. However, with these opportunities come challenges. Can equity be achieved for all learners at scale if AI-based assessments are used? What would be the role of teachers given the increased efficiency of AI? How do we ensure there's no bias in our AI-based algorithms? Our esteemed panelists will explore these complex issues given the expertise and vantage points of the system. And without further ado, let us dive into the discussion. With the first round of questions, I will introduce each panelist briefly and then ask them the first question. For the first two rounds of questions, you're requested to stick to 2 to 3 minutes per question, given our crunch in time. Okay, so I'll start with Professor Ahmed Obaidul Sattar Bhuya. He is a senior specialist at the National Curriculum and Textbook Board, the NCTB, a body under the Ministry of Education in Bangladesh, which is responsible for the development of curriculum and teaching and learning materials for primary and secondary education. As has been expressed, Bangladesh is going through a national curriculum transformation, and Professor Sattar's key responsibilities are in the research and development of the primary curriculum and the development of training materials and providing for the new curriculum and especially the new national assessment platform. On that note, Professor Sattar, can you tell us what is the current progress of this platform and to what extent is AI being used? What has been your experience so far?
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you see, currently our nation is going through a very big change in education. We call it transformation. And in this particular transformative area, we are trying to use AI so that we can enhance the learning experience of our students as well as for our teachers. So what our AI can do is when we are using the Nuipun app, which is basically an assessment app, AI can help us to identify the assessment bias of our teachers. If there is any kind of bias, AI can readily identify that, and also we'll be able to mitigate that particular problem with standardized statistical moderation. AI can also help us to find if there is any kind of problem in our system, like if there is anything problematic with the curriculum or the system, like is there any problematic area in the schools or in the management area or anywhere else. So in those areas also AI, this particular data, as you see, our database is very large. All the responses from the various part of our country will be in this Nipun app. So this robust data can help us with these things. And at the same time, AI can also help us to make some personalized learning plan for the students with the analysis of the learning progression of the students, so that we can make it more personalized for the students. And at the same time, we can also do some provide them some real-time feedback, so that which might not be able sometimes possible for the teachers, because our classroom size is very large. So if in a large classroom size we can properly use AI, in that case it will be able to give us real-time feedback, and it can also help us to identify the career goals, and they can really develop them like that. So yes, we're working on these particular areas, and the opportunities are limitless. So we hope that we'll be able to do all these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sattar, for pointing out some of the advantages with the new AI system. On that note, I have the pleasure now to introduce Nirmal Patel.